Hello everybody, back again with another repair video, and this time I wanted to go over something about the Switch because of course the Switch 2 is coming, and that means a lot of your Nintendo authorized repair places may not be able to repair stuff. So it's better to know how to repair your own stuff. So one of the problems I didn't find a lot of information online, especially on YouTube, is I have these Joy-Cons, they're working fine, but the SL and SR buttons, when you take them out and sort of turn them sideways, they don't work. And the light doesn't also work. So we're going to try and look into what causes this and how to replace and sort of fix this situation. So as you can see, I'm pressing it, there's just nothing. It is active, but there's no LED indicator that this is controller 1. And of course, this can be very, very annoying. So let's dive right in. I'm going to try and open up this Joy-Con and we're going to get into the meats and potatoes of the situation. And of course, just to show you how it looks like, this is what it should look like. This is a brand new Joy-Con. This is working just fine. So as you can see, it's showing player 2. That stuff's there. And so, yeah, let's see what's happening inside this Joy-Con. So I have the Joy-Con here, and you're going to need, basically, if you've ever replaced a control stick, you're going to need that kind of kit. If you don't know what this is, you can always find it. Just type in Joy-Con repair kit on Amazon. You'll get like a set of 3 screwdrivers, tweezers, sort of like a thing to pry open the Joy-Con in the unit. So this is Nintendo's proprietary special screws. It's like I'll call it a TriStar. So anyways, I'm using that to sort of take out the 4 screws around the Joy-Con. Now, interesting fact, the new Switch 2, they're kind of hidden on the side. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the side paneling you see of a different color, it actually hides the screws. So I think design-wise, it looks cool. I just hope there's no more control stick drift or any kind of issues with that. So gently take it out, and again, make sure not to lose those screws. They are a pain to find once they fall into the carpet. So with the pry tool, just go around the R tab and see if you can like push it out. Personally, I think coming near the LED area is much easier. I found this really, really difficult. Personally, I just wanted to just rip it apart with my hands, but that's not a great idea. Or just start at the bottom like I do over here, which I find it to be really interesting and cool. And once you get like a good leverage, just sort of like flip it apart. Now I'm going to be doing something really different. I'm not going to be trying to be as less invasive as possible. A lot of videos I saw, they make you remove all the ribbon cables. You have to unscrew all these things. I'm going to try and create a video where I'm going to ask you to do minimal amount of stuff. So you're going to open it up like a book like this, and you're going to see 2 ribbon cables connected. Be very gentle. Now we know that these ribbon cables are responsible for, the SL and SR buttons. And here I got a little bit of a close-up for it. Sometimes the way it's bent and the pressure that you add can sometimes collapse or sort of fracture these cables. So again, I don't know if this is a design problem, but it's happened to 2 sets of Joy-Cons and I've had 6, so maybe not as common. As you can see, it is working. It's working fine. As soon as I sort of bring it back in, it just doesn't work. And it works again, just bam, it's gone. So we know that the problem lies in how the cable's bent, and it could possibly be something like, I don't know, rupture, fracture. Ribbon cables are a tricky thing, and don't be surprised if things snap off. I mean, I saw a video where basically that ribbon cable, once the guy opens it, just snaps right off. A little heads up, we're going to be ordering these things. So they are called SLSR, or the LED Joy-Con ribbon cable with the actual LED unit. So you need that, and that one unit is going to take care of not only just the buttons, but also of the LED indicators. So now that we've sort of discovered that there is a problem with this, I'm going to gently take the battery out. Again, it's light adhesive. I've never had to open this Joy-Con. So just pull it out. There is a cable for the power. I prefer not to because we're going to be doing this really quick and snappy. You shouldn't have any kind of problems. Just keep it there. This does require a little bit of dexterity in how you position stuff. So you're going to see these two screws that are clearly keeping this board down, and you're going to unscrew them with a Phillips head screwdriver. I think the size you need is 0 or 1. It's one of the smaller sizes. The toolkit, you can find tons of these on iFixit or just even on Amazon. It just gave me the right size, so I have no problems, but I do have an extensive screwdriver set, so I know it's, I think, 1 or 0. Anyhow, not a problem to unscrew this. Now, if you're ever wondering, well, this is, of course, the left Joy-Con. Is the right the same thing? The answer is no. The right side Joy-Con is a different bit of housing because it has the NFC sensor in there. So again, this is the NFC sensor chip over there, and the 3 screws that you unscrew, let me zoom right in there. As you can see, 2 of them are above over there on the R button right here and here, and the final one is over there. You're going to unscrew those if you want to remove the paneling. It's just a little bit of an extra step, but it shouldn't be a problem. Let's go back to the other Joy-Con here for a second, and boom. Once you've taken that out, keep the R trigger there. I don't want to, again, remove anything. And careful, the 3rd screw I forgot was in the bottom right there. So now that you've removed that, you're going to open it up like a book again. Very, very carefully. Minimal interaction, sort of minimal, not interaction, minimal effect, any kind of damage. Just gently flip it open because there is a ribbon cable connecting the R button, and you don't want to mess with that. And that over there, that big square looking silver thing, that's the Joy-Con. So it has these, and I had to look this up, they're called ZIF clips. So you're going to just like gently flip it over, but be careful because it's connected to, again, another cable that is, I think it's responsible for the plus and minus buttons, but I don't want to risk it. So you're going to gently make sure you don't interact with that because that's above. And once you've flipped over the clip, gently pull it out. So now that's gone. All right. Worst part is over. Don't move things too much because from here on in, I think it just gets a little easier. Here we have sort of zoomed out, so I could show you. You're gonna like gently hold it like this, and you're going to unscrew the board that has the LED and the SL and SR buttons. This is not too difficult, but again, the idea is when we're working our steps back is you're going to screw stuff back, but you're not going to tighten it too much. If you notice, it's kind of really easy to take it off. And so you don't want to over tighten stuff because that could lead to problems. And I'm not sure there is a break, but it's bent really weird. And this could happen when you put a lot of pressure on the Joy-Cons from the back or the front. And so anyways, I ordered these replacements. Just type in LED or SL, SR replacement ribbon cables and panels. I got mine with a couple of joystick replacements, so it was nice. So you're gonna try and there's different sides, so be sure you're getting the right side. So of course this is the left Joy-Con, so I found the one for the left Joy-Con, and you're gonna very carefully slide it in. And the ZIF clip, so once you flip it onto it, it sort of locks in. So you want to make sure you get it at the right, you have enough of the connectors connecting, and just gently flip it over. Keep in mind that there's another ribbon cable right above your tweezers that you're going to be very cautious with. So I had a little bit of an issue and a problem. It's just like, make sure that the thing flips down, and let's just do this properly here. And so I got it really tightly in, just flipped it over, snap, secured. Now again, we've not moved things too far off. You're gonna bring back the sort of back panel. You're gonna align the screws. Be very careful. Sometimes the sync button sort of comes off with the panel. In my case, I was very cautious and it didn't. So hooray for me. So now here I am sort of attaching that panel very carefully. Come to think of it, if you get one of those magnetic sort of like pads to put on your workstation, that'd be pretty cool. They kind of keep the screws in place, but you don't need them, but they are really, really handy. And so with that secured, there's just only 2 screws. You don't have to really worry about it. Just make sure that you sort of press down on the panel, but keep in mind that there is a thicker ribbon cable below that you don't want to mess up. Looking at it, it sort of seems more like it could take a beating or two. It seems like you don't have to worry too much about that one. However, the LED light one is just such a thin and sort of like brittle cable. Now, with that secured, you're going to gently close this, let's call it a page, this book page, and you're going to match up the 2 sort of screws in the same position from the board so you can see it. And once that's there, you will be able to match up the other screws that you're supposed to screw in to the board. And again, a reminder, there's 3. Don't forget that one in the bottom, as I did, and I had to sort of re-record. Now again, should you kind of mess up and take out the screws from the actual board itself, don't worry. They are of different lengths, so that should be all right. And it goes without saying, I got a comment in our last video that if there's any part once you open up the Joy-Con that's kind of dusty and not clean, take pride in your work and do make sure to clean stuff like that off. Once the board, the plastic panel is secure, gently pivot the battery back so that the connector is kind of lining up properly. And at this point, the L and R buttons are there, and you're going to gently sort of, I know this is horrible, but you're going to bend that cable in the way that the other cable was bent. So it's kind of like sandwiching in, and it's kind of easier to first get the front done. And I'm going to show you how it's sort of like bending in like that just over the battery. So this is why you can't really like squeeze the Joy-Con. To be honest, I don't know how this thing didn't break before, but playing a couple of games of Mario Party, things got a little intense, and I think my iron kung fu grip sort of did something in, and you got to test it, and it looks like it works well. Going back to the 4 screws that you have for the panel, you're going to need your special TriStar Nintendo bit screwdriver to sort of push them in. These screws are weird though, because like I thought they were magnetic, but turns out they're not. So that is a bit of a problem, but who cares? It's fine. Do you have to calibrate anything after this? No, but it's a good idea to do something with checking if the buttons work properly. There is an option in the Switch. You'll have to go into settings, controllers, and it should be like input device something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Please forgive me for that. But do check that out. You don't have to calibrate the stick itself for the Joy-Con. It's not necessary unless you replace the actual unit, because of stick drift. Here's hoping we get no stick drift for the Nintendo Switch 2 controllers, but here's hoping that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Everything sort of degrades, and unless you get Hall effect sticks put into your controllers, it's not. There's no way. Like, my old GameCube controllers were great, but even they suffer from some kind of stick drift. But I guess that is with most things in life, wear and tear, sort of. That's normal. So, there you are, nice and solid. I'm happy with this. We test this out. Turn on your Switch, and immediately you'll be greeted. Press the button down, and let's see if I can find it. So immediately I can see it's active, and I go into System Settings, and it is Configuration Sensors. And let's go down all the way to Calibrate Motion Controls. Nope. Test Input and Test Controller Buttons. Just to make sure you didn't break anything. And there you go. SLSR is fine. All the buttons seem to work fine. Please do test all of them. Of course, the stick's not going to work. But did you know that the stick is also a button? So you may press that in. And yeah, check that out. And that's it. Easy as pie. Hope this was helpful. Minimal effort. Minimal sort of like removing ribbon cables. And that's it. Like and subscribe. Take care, guys. All the best.